does it make sense for VW's compact SUV? Now they've greenlit that.
Yeah.
It should have come at the same time as the Kayak.
Didn't.
They did not, but chalo, now it's going to come. Maybe next year. Should that be called the Polo?
No way.
Why not?
I think the Polo is a very loved brand. They've built something out of that brand, which is even 3 years after it's been killed off in India, is still lingering. I don't think they should take that to stretch it so far.
But to me, if you already have a brand that is so synonymous with the country, synonymous with enthusiasts in the regular public also, synonymous with safety. The Polo, it actually introduced safety in that compact in the hatchback category. Why not use it? You can call it a cynical marketing play.
Yeah.
But end of the day, here you have a brand that stands for something that is as strong as the mother brand, if not stronger. Why not use it? And if the whole market has moved away from hatchbacks and moved to SUVs, this is a compact SUV, still sub 4 meter. Polo was sub 4 meter. It has all the inherent goodness of the Polo and the strength of the Polo. Why not use it? Because otherwise the Polo name, okay, we love it, we'll wear a t-shirt, the t-shirt will fade, we'll chuck the t-shirt away and we'll forget about it, right?
I don't think we'll forget about it. I think it'll be...
But what use? What is VW going to do with your past memory of the Polo?
What if the next generation comes,
I think that hatchback segment is finished now.
Maybe.
I don't think that hatchback... You can't... It's hatchbacks are cheap cars in India.
It's like how Mitsubishi is rubbing all of their iconic names in the mud. Eclipse Cross, all that shit they're doing. I don't think See, we enthusiasts, we are the loudest community about cars. If VW goes and names their next SUV a Polo, we're going to be shouting and screaming about it. And
I'm an enthusiast. I was the first one to win a rally with the Polo. My team did the Polo for Indian rallying.
I completely agree with you. You have the credentials for it. But on social media, the loudest voices win. When I did the Kayak versus Polo video, the amount of hate I got, because how can you compare the Polo to a Kayak? They're not the same thing. Now imagine if VW goes and names their next Kayak the Polo. People will lose their minds.
Yeah, they will lose their minds for sure. But I really do think that they should use the Polo name and do justice to it. Okay? Not just do like a front end on the Kayak and call it.
It's going to be that, but...
No, I think now they have the time to do a little bit more. They can do a Polo GT, which could be the 1.5 liter engine into it. Obviously, in terms of pricing, it'll all go for a whack.
Yeah.
Because you don't get the excess duty benefit.
Plus the re-engineering cost.
I don't think... Yeah, okay, shallow. Some re-engineering cost and all that. Yeah. But there is potential to do a 1.5 Kayak as the Polo GT. There is potential.
I don't know.
And now that the Polo Kayak, the Volkswagen Kayak, okay, that will have to go through homologation.
Yeah.
So in that stage itself, that time when you homologate two different states of tune for the engine, you homologate different wheels. When you homologate all of it together, it doesn't cost that much money. When you homologate one thing and then go and homologate the whole other setup again, that costs a lot of money, takes a lot of time.
I have another question. When has it ever worked that Europe gets one car with a certain name, India gets another car with the same name, and when has Renault did it with the...
But Europe doesn't have a VW Kayak.
They have a Polo. So I'm saying... When Europe gets a different Polo and we get a different Polo, when has that ever worked in the past?
So why not call it a cross Polo?
Because the cross Polo existed.
Yeah.
Maybe you can call it a cross Polo. That's still, I'd say, doable.
And you have cross Chota and Polo Bada. Yeah.
Maybe. I think that's leaning to a more acceptable space, but just Polo. See, you look at the Captor. We had a different Captor in India than what there was over there. We had a different Kicks in India than what there was there. The C3, we have a different C3 in India than what all cars failed. Because today the Indian customer knows.
Correct.
They know we are getting something else from what the Goras are getting. And why.
So I think we've debated this properly and now arrived at a really sweet spot. Cross Polo.
Maybe. I think that's where we can agree.
I think the cross Polo, and you think about it, and it does work well. Everybody will call it the Polo.
Yeah.
Okay. But you still have the cross over there. So you've also been authentic to your brand and to your brand values. Also, if somebody says, the Polo in Europe and Indian Polo, but Indian Polo is cross Polo. So, TK. So, you can justify this properly.
Correct. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That may be more acceptable than
And a
Polo.
cross Polo GT with a 1.5 engine, with everything that we talked about in the Kayak, plus a little bit more. I think with a little bit wider tires.
They'll have to make it
slightly
look like the
lower.
Polo though.
You know, if you give that kind of Polo face or Volkswagen face, you will be able to make it. So I don't think that's so difficult. And there is the makings of a Polo comeback. Yeah, that's what do you guys think? What should the compact SUV from Volkswagen be called?
Yeah.
Should it be called the Polo? Should it be called the Cross Polo? Should it be called something completely different? Let us know.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see what your comments are. This is actually something that we can really build on.